I am, like I said, a student at Middlebury Institute of International Studies, focusing on intercultural competency and fascinated with how the international development field talks about and uses stories to include the people that they are serving.
Karine, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, you said my name right. Thank you.
Yeah.
My name is Karine. I'm a gender and social inclusion consultant. Used to be with USAID in Pakistan. And I am really interested in many things, but also I'm a new mom. So like the lived experience of perpetual exhaustion and shaming, actually, from the community. I'm really interested in like, what can we do to open up spaces, stop shaming, like making it a normal part of life, and not just for women. So yeah, thank you, excited.
That's awesome. And Jeremy?
Oh, sorry. Oh. I can go quickly. Sorry for not having the video on. I'm Sophie Javers. I'm out in California, so it's earlier in the morning and I hadn't had a chance to have my cup of coffee or put any clothes on other than my robe. So I'm not quite ready to share my screen with you. Apologies. But I work for a USAID funded research consortium that does poverty alleviation work, and we're based out of the University of California in Davis. And so we have a large multi-million-dollar grant. We're over a decade now of work. And this is just, I was intending to be kind of more of an observer of this working group today, but I find myself actively participating, which is great. But I'm very excited to learn more about what this group is digging into and whether this is something that I want to be a part of. So I am still kind of observing.
The pressure, okay.
Come on, make it worth it, guys. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Sweatpants, by the way, just so you know, this is my top.
Thank you.
Amy or Jeremy, you want to introduce yourself, and then we can have Jamal at the end, maybe.
Sure, yeah. My name is Jeremy. I'm a master's student at American University in International Development. I'm still at the very beginning of my program, so I'm not sure exactly yet where I want to specialize, but some interests I have recently for my undergraduate capstone research project. I completed a project where I measured the extent of disability inclusion in Mexico using some of the UN indicators of social protection. So I guess right now I'm just still trying to get my foot in the water and seeing where exactly I want to specialize within the ID program.
Fantastic.
Am I next?
Yes, you are.
So I'm Amy. I work with Ryan at Palladium. So it's like, it's really funny they put us in the same group. So much by diversity of thought, right? But at least nothing I say will surprise Ryan. So besides being a project delivery manager at Palladium, I also run my own social enterprise, working specifically with women survivors, refugees, and immigrants. And my whole motivation behind it is to help support and promote diversity in the workforce, whether it's at, the 7-Eleven next door or at development firms. And so I do a lot of empowerment workshops and career coaching. I'm also the ICN working group chair, co-chair, sorry, there's two of us. We haven't done anything in almost a year, but I'm hoping to put something on soon.
Yay, Amy. And then finally, real quick, do we want to hear from Jamal, who is our SID representative today, taking notes as well?
Yeah, hi everyone, I'm Jamal. I'm the events and administration coordinator at SID. I started here in late December, early January. And yeah, I recently graduated from the University of Maryland and then joined SID. And I'm just here taking notes, so I'll kind of be in the background.
Well, congratulations, Jamal. And please feel free to add your voice to this discussion, because, everybody matters here and everybody's fresh ideas from wherever you're coming from can really contribute. So with that said, I'm noting we have probably about 15 minutes left, and I'd love to maybe see us just all on our own time, maybe adding as many sticky notes as we want. Maybe that could be helpful. And we'll watch Amy do hers, but we could all do our own as well. So thank you, Amy, for sharing your screen. And then, sorry, I will back away from now. Sorry, I'm so used to being a facilitator. Okay. We're on group 2, by the way. Do you all want 1 more minute to add anything else? Just 1 more minute, and then we'll come back and start organizing. I could go all day, you know. This is our passion, y'all. I think we could all keep going. Does anyone want to lead us in maybe helping us to or self-organize ourselves? I'm seeing a lot of themes here.
Maybe put trainings into one, research and data into one pile, decolonization into another pile.
All right, everybody, if you feel like helping to sort, go ahead. Thank you for that quick thinking, Amy, by the way. I would not have been able to do that. Can we give a shout out to the person that said empathy and compassion? I really love you.
This is the one for work-life balance, wellness as a general theme.
Is that another one? Okay, I'll add that.
Because I think that's what the empathy, compassion, understanding one should fall under.
Believe it or not, I think it's also a technical capability that I think a lot of people sadly lack in this field. So. Okay, I'm being mean. I'm sorry. Gender disadvantages. Can we rename research and data to research, data, and approaches, maybe? Just to get a couple. And then increase emphasis on collaborating with local CLA. Global cooperation. I think that's approaching. Does the person who said global cooperation want to share a little bit more? I think I know, but.
Yeah, I think just in the matter, like, for example, I mean, I think this goes off of kind of the multi-stakeholder approach, but having global conferences such as that are sponsored by the UN to promote international governments to cooperate on certain issues.
Thank you so much, Jeremy. All right, what are our observations? What are we noticing? Anything rising to the surface? I mean, I like the buckets, but now anything more specific and that we should focus on, thinking about maybe our top 2 to 3 things that rise to the surface as issues we should explore in future panels, discussions, thought pieces, I don't know. And feel free to use the chat too. I think that will work as well.
So I think as much as we enjoy talking about decolonization, I'm interested to see how we can come up with the tools to actually put that into practice and implement. Whereas I feel like the work-life balance stuff is low-hanging fruit, but it's been hanging for a long time. I see a lot of burnout in our field, myself included, whether we're working in DC or at any headquarter office, or whether we're in the field. It's, you know, we're all spread pretty thin, and there seems, and especially when we're working in NGO side, which I have a few times, people are underpaid, and their their compassion and compassion and passion for the field, for the subject matter, is being taken advantage of. So I feel like that it's a huge issue in our industry where we are inadvertently cutting off access to this type of work for people who are interested but might not have the resources. So for a woman of color who might be a single mom, that like she can't work 10 hours a day managing three USA projects or going out to the field. So that's one area that I've been very interested in doing more with, and I'm hoping we can come up more with some solutions. So that's my 2 cents for now.
Yeah, to jump off what Amy was talking about, and I'm thinking out loud right now, what I see a lot is centering the people that are very interested in international development, and it becomes very competitive. And it's seen in how we tell the stories. Like right now I'm going through the networking process, and a lot of it is talking about this is what I've done versus not a lot of this is what we've done, in terms of including a lot of the communities that we have the privilege to serve. And so I see as a potential fix is looking at how we tell those stories. How do we communicate and empower the people that we're looking to serve? And right now, I'm a returned Peace Corps volunteer, and at least a lot of Fulfilling the Goal was talking about my experience. I'm like, why can't we talk about our experience? And it's like a simple fix that I see is like looking on the websites or the international development, like the NGOs there, is you see these photos of these people in different cultures, but they don't even tell you their name. Like that's not empowering them, that's exploiting them.
I was on a website and it was focused on children, and they focused in on the small child and didn't even acknowledge the mother that was holding, who was also probably a child herself. So I get it. Other comments? I really appreciate all the observations so far.
I
We've got
just
some
wanted to
great
echo
ideas.
Amy's
Sorry.
comments. Oh, sorry.
No,
There might be a
please.
delay too. One on decolonization. I think this is a huge topic, and I think we need to address it. Like, what does it practically mean for the work that we do? But then also this idea of work-life balance and kind of the HR pieces, and creating spaces that just make it easier for us to be better people so we can do better work. And so the structural incentives of these spaces, that I think is what I'm also really interested in. Like, I literally needed to become a consultant to somehow get out of these pressures, because this is maybe, I don't know if this is just the US, but I think our culture makes it very, very difficult for us to have work-life balance and to do it in a way where we maintain our dignity and respect in society. Anyway, so yes, Amy, I'm on board with that.
I just want to share a quick anecdote as to what's driving this, and it was something that Corinne said earlier. In January, I had a miscarriage, and I took a week off. And as soon as I came back to work, it was as if, oh, you already had a week off. You should be recovered by now. That seemed to happen. The attitude out and the expectation was get right back to work. So even though I was still struggling emotionally, physically, I was not given that time and space to fully recover. So my recovery process actually took much longer than it should have. And my friends who have given birth have told me that their experiences have not been that different. They take their 2 or 3 months maternity leave, they go back, and they're expected to just jump right in.
Well, this may, we might be finding intersections here. Well, sorry. First and foremost, thank you so much for sharing, Amy. I really appreciate that. And I'm you sharing your story more openly as well has just been really empowering to see. I've just really appreciated you just being open. So thank you so much. It's something I think a lot of people probably experience and don't talk about. So thank you. And building out into this conversation, I think there might be some great intersection here too, because Amy, I don't know if you remember, from our race, ethnicity, and culture section at Palladium, but we did this whole session on how our work culture in the United States actually emanates from white supremacy. And that actually lends itself nicely to the conversations around decolonization as well, because we then put the same pressure on country counterparts, you know, and the other thing that could go on this is, in addition to, that goes off of what Seth is saying, is maybe also thinking about some new thinking about local solutions, local capacity and understanding. How are we also taking advantage of or respecting the capacities of our local culture, the local cultures and the local context and the people there that can actually do the work that so many of us put the burden on ourselves to do because that's our culture, but maybe there's some thinking there too. I'm not sure, but I'm glad we're all raising these as our kind of our top priorities. I like that. Any other observations? I think we're supposed to go back in like a minute or two. Yes, we'll receive a 2-minute warning. So maybe we have a few, we have 1 minute and 15 seconds. So any other observations? Thank you for contributing these. What's great about this is that we will capture these. So if we don't get a talk right now, we can at least, we'll have these for later. So thank you.
Ryan, it says under the phases, we have to prioritize 2 to 3 topics.
Yeah.
Do we have to figure that out before we go back to the main room?
I think we have generally. I don't think we've gotten as specific as I would have liked, but that's okay. It's a natural process. So I think rooting down into not only decolonization as a broad theme, but something more specific, and then examining work-life culture in the context of, you know, just the pressures of work and what that does to the quality of work, and hopefully linking in Seth's theme of, you know, centering local communities and not decentering us and making sure that the people we're serving are what's most prioritized, particularly in communications, if that's a good summary. And Amy, can you repeat it as our group leader?
Oh, no.